Hi, Cindy.
Hi, how are ya?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
These crazy times. Yeah.
Going a little stir crazy.
Yep. I think we all are, aren't we?
I think
Everybody
we
I
are.
speak to is going a little stir crazy. So, yeah. So today, we're going to be talking about finding solace in times of despair. And I think, I've been talking to so many people, and it's just that roller coaster. And I know for myself too. I mean, I had, just a bit of a meltdown yesterday, and it just hits like, you watch something on television, some heartbreaking story, and
Yeah.
oh gosh, it was just too much. And at other times, I mean, I'm busy all day because with patients and with I do seminars online and everything else. But even then, it's up and down. I'm sure it's that way for you too, right?
And it catches you off guard.
Exactly.
Right when you're not even looking at the news. Like I went to the Weather Channel to check the weather the other day, and there was a big headline about coronavirus. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, you just can't seem to get away from it, It's like everywhere. You turn on any channel, there's something. Even if they're talking about something else, they say, oh, breaking news, and then they come on with, something. And it just keeps every one of us, like I can feel my body on guard at times. I mean, I do the breathing and stuff off and on to sort of calm it down. But even then, you can feel the sort of the tightness, or the amygdala is in on guard mode, if you will.
Hmm.
So yeah. So we should tell people, whoever is listening, to please introduce yourselves and tell us where you're from when you come on, and please let us know you're there. So it's not just Cindy and me talking to each other, which is fine too, right, Cindy?
Sure, we can make conversation.
I think we're okay with doing that, but we'd
Mhm.
really like other people to join in. So let's give them some time. It's only 8:02, so maybe a few more minutes.
Sure.
Yeah. So how is your daughter doing with at the grocery store and stuff?
She's doing pretty good. They've got some stuff in place. She's got gloves, and she's got cleaning supplies, and she's got a shield, a partial shield.
Yeah.
And they're starting to distance people.
Okay. Good.
So
Good.
yeah, she's doing good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Linda's on. She says hi.
Hi, Linda. Yeah, we were just saying, please introduce yourself and whoever you are, and tell us where you guys are from.
Yeah,
So,
Donna's on. And
Linda, hi.
Sandy's on.
Yeah. Hi, Donna. Welcome. And oh, Sandy. Hi, Sandy.
Mm-hmm. So we
Welcome.
got a few people on.
Yeah. Yeah, there they are. People are starting to roll in. So we'll give them like another minute, and then, we can start with the grounding exercise and
Sure, of course.
yeah. So, yeah, this has been quite a week, and I don't know how many more such weeks we're going to go through. But hopefully, I'm hearing, it's flattening. The curve is flattening. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that maybe things will start. At least they're going in the right direction. That's all
Yep.
I can say.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's all.
My
We can
daughter follows the CDC.
Yeah,
And although the number of cases is going up, if you
yeah.
look at the new cases per day, it's definitely flat.
Yes, yes. And we
Yes,
can be very grateful for that. So,
yes.
yeah,
So that's very good news.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, how is everybody doing? Please write in the chat box what is your number one feeling today for today's talk? Like, what are you bringing in with you? Um, is it, some of us are feeling anxious, some of us are feeling scared, some of us are feeling grateful, some of us are feeling many different feelings. So just write in the chat box what your feeling is starting out, and then within like another minute or so we'll get started with the grounding exercise. So I'd love to know what you guys are feeling. Okay, Sandy says she's doing fine now. That's awesome, Sandy. I guess it's at the end of a work day, so that always helps, right? To just feel that relief that the work day is done and you can relax. Yeah, so that's good. Anybody else want to share? Please do so. What are you feeling, Cindy?
I got the range going. Sometimes anxiety, because I do have, like an essential worker and one that is at risk.
Yeah.
Sometimes yep. Donna says she's scared at times.
Yeah.
I get it. Other times, you go to that news page and COVID-19 is not the top story, and you're like, yes. So it's always a range for me.
Yeah, I think it is for most of us, And I think Sandy says she was scared earlier. So see, she sort of is agreeing with us too, that it seems to be a range, and then, you go up and down. It's not just one feeling, during the whole day. So, I went from feeling at one point really, really sad because, like I said earlier, heard something awful on the news, to feeling optimistic because I heard something great on the news that was a positive story, which I'll share in a little bit. And then again, I felt grateful and some sense of gratitude. So we're each of us, I think, is going through the range, like you said.
Yep, Barbara's up and down.
Yeah, there you go. That seems to be the theme. Hi, Barbara. Welcome. Yeah, she's feeling up and down, just like you, Cindy, and like me and the rest of the world, right? So, yeah, Sandy agrees. She feels up and down, and she feels sad hearing the uncertainty. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? We just don't seem to know anything about this virus. And, the human brain is constantly looking for some sense of control and some certainty. And we don't have that. I mean, we know nothing about this virus, and everybody, even the healthcare people are learning about it. So there's nobody to say, oh, well, this is the course, this is what's going to happen. Nobody knows. And that uncertainty causes a tremendous anxiety for the brain, because the brain is always looking through our Rolodex, if you will, of past experiences to say, oh, so this looks like this from the past. And then it can make some sense of it and wrap itself around that experience. But right now, our brains are all like, they have no idea because there's nothing to compare it to. We've never been through a pandemic before. So the brain itself is looking for some certainty out there and is not finding it. And that's when, the imagination network, I've been talking about that, the imagination part of our brain goes haywire and constantly comes up with the what if situations, which lead us into rabbit holes of negative outcomes, right? Because we have nothing to hold on to. So your brain can't say, well, it's going to be okay because it was okay, last time we had a pandemic. Well, who knows? We weren't alive to see the last pandemic. So, we don't know anything about this one. So that's why we're all feeling this tremendous anxiety.
Yep. Holly Ann's feeling a range of emotions. We get that.
Yeah.
Linda's not as anxious as she was before, but she's been up the past couple of nights thinking about it. And Mary's feeling lonely for family. Yeah. Oh. I mean, it's very isolating.
Yes, very isolating. Well, welcome to the new names I just saw. Welcome, Holly Ann, and welcome, Mary. It's really great to see you guys taking time out of your day. It's later in the evening, and I'm sure you might have wanted to spend your time just relaxing or doing something else. So I am very grateful. So, okay, guys, let's get started. So first of all, just a shout out to Cindy. Thank you, Cindy, for joining me. Cindy is my assistant. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Aarti Rao. I'm a cardiac psychologist and stress management expert. And this is just something I've it just warms my heart to have this opportunity to be with all of you on Wednesday nights. This is something I look forward to. So thank you for just showing up, and so that we can all be on this journey together and support each other. So I just want to start off with that, and also a shout out to my husband Colin, who's been just great. He's been setting up these live Facebook programs every week, because like I've said before, I'm technologically challenged. So without him, I think this wouldn't be happening. So thank you, Colin. Okay, so let's get started. So what I'd like to do is what I always do on Wednesday nights, is to start with a grounding exercise. People are coming in with all kinds of emotions, like we saw. So we want to just be present and grounded for this, for the next 45 minutes to an hour that we're going to spend together, okay? So please sit back in a comfortable position, or lie back in a comfortable position, and close your eyes, please. And take 3 deep breaths. We're going to take the first one. And slowly exhale. Take another deep breath, please. And slowly exhale. And the third deep breath, inhale. And slowly exhale. And now visualize a golden cord running from the top of your head, from your crown chakra, right down along your spine and going down into the earth. Visualize the cord being connected at the top to your higher power, or to God, or the universe. And as you visualize it, see this a column of golden light just pouring in along this cord, like right down from your crown chakra, and the light is going right down along your spine and also down into the ground. And take another deep breath, please. And as you exhale, visualize that this golden light is starting to spread out from this column that you visualized. Is spreading out into every cell of your body, filling up every cell from the top of your head right down to your toes with this golden healing light, a light of love, a light of energy, light of security, light of protection from your higher power, or God, or the universe, whoever you choose to believe in. And now, as the light is spreading through your entire body, feel the energy that it's bringing to your body, and just feel your body vibrating with that energy. And now, take another deep breath, please. And as you exhale, visualize that you're visualizing love emanating from every cell in your body and just being sent out to everybody else on this call with us today, as well as all the people that may be listening to this recording later on. Just visualize this love that you're sending out to everyone, not just on the call, but now spreading it out to the people in your neighborhood, the people in your town, the people in your city, the people in your state, the people in your country, and the people everywhere else on the globe. And now visualize just holding hands as a huge group of people supporting each other, because collectively we can fight anything that comes our way, and we can fight the outcomes of this coronavirus by by creating a protective shield around all of us with just that love and the energy that each of us is feeling right now, the healing energy and the light and the love. So let's just visualize this huge group of people just holding hands and creating almost like a firewall of protection against this virus, this silent, invisible virus that is attacking our world. And now, take another deep breath, please. And as you exhale, visualize all that love and healing energy coming back to you. So we create like a full circle between all of us. So we are giving out that love and healing, and we're receiving it right back. And that creates like an ongoing circle for all of us to stay protected. And now I'm going to count from 3 to 1 and take one more deep breath after I count to 1. And we shall be present and alert and back in this talk here. 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath, please. And exhale. And be present right here with all of us. Okay, so we're all grounded and very present here. So today our topic is really finding solace in times of despair. So what does that mean to people? And please join in and write in what you think that means. So I just want to share with you that I was trying to think of something for us to really discuss today, and I thought, gratitude was something that I felt was very, very important, especially in a time of despair when we're feeling such different range, a range of different emotions. Gratitude can be extremely helpful. So I'm just going to share with you some of the things that I've been reading about and some tips about that. So the first thing is, why gratitude? How does that help? So what we want to do is balance our despair along with gratitude, because gratitude brings us into the present moment. Can anyone share, like, why do you think gratitude keeps us grounded and present, whereas despair takes us into the world of anxiety and what if thinking? So it takes us into the future, like, what if this happens? What if that happens? And then you start feeling that sense of despair. Or we look at other things that are going on in the world and we're not present. We think of stories we heard maybe yesterday, maybe 2 weeks ago, and which were just heart-wrenching stories, and we think of all those things, and it makes us feel very very down and very sad. Or it takes us into a place of anxiety, like with all the what if thinking that we're all engaging in. So it doesn't help, right? Worry and despair never helps to solve a problem. So on the other hand, we want to have gratitude. So gratitude brings us into the present moment. So can anyone say, like, how does it bring us into the present moment? Is there, if people want to comment on that, that would be really awesome. Cindy, do you have a sense of how that brings us maybe to the present moment?
Well, it kind of makes you think about what's going on, and what's going on in your life now, or in the slight past. You can't really have gratitude for future because you don't know what the future holds. Mm-hmm. So I think that it really it forces you to think about the now or the short past.
Yeah.
And what you're grateful for and what you have in your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Versus, like you say, the what if thinking can take you down that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always the unknown, and your self tells you stories.
Yeah.
They're not the nice ones either.
No, they never are. Never are. The brain's always telling us negative stories, like terrible stories, right? So let's see, some people have been writing in. So Sandy says it takes away some of the anxiety and helps you to know you're not alone.
Yep.
Which is great. Mary writes,
gratitude makes you examine the right now of small moments.
Yes, that's wonderful. Thank you. And Linda writes, there's always something to be grateful for.
You're right.
Yeah. And Carol writes, Cindy, you want to read that? Carol writes,
gratitude keeps us grounded in the present moment by helping us to focus on positive events rather than negative.
Yes, yes. So here is these are some great examples, and we're going to do some more. But what it really helps with also is that gratitude helps us to get out of the victim mentality, because all of us feel victimized by the coronavirus, right? We feel that sense of, but we need to put that victimization in perspective, and that feeling of victimization can come up for many reasons. You can feel victimized because obviously, if you have the coronavirus, of course you're going to feel victimized. Or if you've lost a family member, God forbid, to the coronavirus, of course you're going to feel victimized. If you've lost your job, you're going to feel victimized. If you're somebody who's working on the front lines, you're going to feel like, why me? How is it that I've landed up in this position? I'm not prepared to be doing this, right? So there's all kinds of levels of victimization that we feel. However, when we feel victimized, it is not always productive, because it then makes us feel even more anxious and have even less control. So that's really important to know, that when we feel victimized, it takes away that little bit of sense of control that we might think we have, because we feel totally helpless and we feel totally lost. So can people relate to that where the victimization comes from? So please respond to that concept. But having said that, I want to say it's perfectly normal to feel that, okay? So don't feel guilty for feeling it. You want to acknowledge that. Acknowledge the feelings, but because there's a saying that says, when you name it, you tame it. So you want to name that feeling. In other words, you want to say, I feel victimized right now. This really sucks. This is not right. I wish this wasn't happening to me. And you could even say that if, I've had people say to me, this is terrible. I am homebound and, I have nowhere to go and I'm having cabin fever and I'm really upset about that. It's okay. Don't judge each other for what you're feeling victimized about. Because, you hear people judging each other too and say, well, what right do you have to feel upset because you're stuck and the whole world is stuck with you and you're not alone. So, but feelings simply are. They're not right and they're not wrong. So if you want to find solace in despair, you want to acknowledge the despair, whether the despair comes from something as simple as saying, okay, we're stuck at home and we don't like it and we have nothing to do, to, oh my gosh, I have the virus, to, oh my gosh, I just, I've lost somebody that I loved. So there's this whole range, but you want to express that emotion, and nothing, because your feelings are not right or wrong, good or bad. Feelings simply are. So number one is acknowledge the feeling, name it. Because when the brain knows that what you're feeling, rather than trying to create a story around it, it just helps to give it a label, name it, because then you can do something about it, right? So the first thing is to really acknowledge the feeling, and also then put in, the gratitude. So now let's talk about that. You want to balance despair and gratitude at the same, at the same time. Like, so in other words, you don't want to use the word but between these two. You want to look at the despair and the gratitude and let both those feelings exist at the same time. So often, some of you who know me will know that I often say, replace the word but with the word and. What does that mean? You want to say, I am, it really sucks that I'm stuck at home, or I'm really upset and angry that this is happening to me. I'm angry that I've lost my job, and I'm grateful that my family is safe. Rather than saying, oh, yeah, I'm really upset about this, but I should be grateful because my family is safe. Now, when we use the word but, what happens is you bury your feelings, and that's never good. You want to acknowledge those feelings even at a time, especially at a time like this. Does that make sense to you, Cindy?
It
Yeah,
does. It does because when you say but, you discount the previous statement.
yeah,
Um, when you say and, you're acknowledging both, and that's what you're after.
yeah. Yeah. Either way, right? We could be either discounting the negative feeling and only holding on to the gratitude, or we could be discounting what you need to be grateful about and only looking at the negative. So with the word "but," you could do it this way: like you bury one and you stick with one, or you bury the other and you look at the other part of it, the positive. You don't want to do that. You want them both to coexist, and that's a really important thing that I cannot say cannot emphasize more, that you
Right.
really need to do that. Just a couple other things that come to mind is that gratitude helps us to make better decisions. People want to comment about that. How that on the surface that sounds kind of like, really, how does that help? Like, how does gratitude help to make better decisions?
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what people have to say about that.
Yeah. Can anybody take a guess at it? Just figure out how that helps. How does it help you to make better decisions? Oh, Dora says, and that's really very good. Gratitude takes you outside of yourself. That's awesome, Dora. That's exactly the point, I was driving at. That when we feel gratitude, it takes us outside of just ourselves, just having that lens that only looks at me and mine, like, oh, how is this affecting me? How is it affecting my family? But to be able to say, oh my God, how is it affecting my neighbors or my friends, or society at large, or the globe. So when we make decisions, we can make it from a larger perspective, from a global perspective, or from a societal perspective. So you're going to be able to look at the good of the society more than just yourself. And that's what's driving so many good Samaritans out there. And I'm sure a lot of you are in our group right here who are doing what you can to help others. So when you feel grateful about what you have, then you're ready to give to others, whether it's cooking a meal for your neighbor. It doesn't have to be some big project requiring, hundreds of thousands of dollars or anything like that. It just could be the smallest thing. But when we feel grateful for what we have, we make better decisions about, what do I do with my time? What do I do with to help other people? And people are doing all kinds of wonderful things. Cindy, you might want to share about your niece at this point. This feel-good story about your niece. What a wonderful thing she's
Yeah,
doing.
she was just featured in the Syracuse, New York newspaper. She started a small business in November. She's selling Ray-Bans headbands, and with the coronavirus, the nurses, their ears are being super sore from the masks that they have to wear. Even some of the grocery store workers, and other people. And what she's doing, she has a donation page where people can donate. She's not big enough where she can donate many herself, but she has donated some. But she is sewing on the buttons at the right place for when healthcare workers can put the elastic from the masks over the buttons instead of over their ears to help save that.
Wow.
That was just a story that broke today in the Syracuse, New York newspaper. Yeah, it featured another niece of mine who is a nurse at Brigham and Women's in Boston, because she was the recipient of one of the headbands. My daughter was a recipient of one of the headbands donations. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And you hear of so many such wonderful stories. Kudos to your niece, by the way. I mean, when you told me that story, it was so heartwarming to see that for a young woman of, she's only what, 22 or 23, you said? She's
Mhm.
a very young girl. And that's where the gratitude comes from, right? I'm sure she felt, my life's okay. I'm not sick. My family's not sick. So what is it that I can do to help other people? And there are hundreds of such heartwarming stories that I'm sure each of you can have heard and can think about, of how when you feel that gratitude and appreciation, you can then reach out and do something for somebody else. And I think that's really critically important at this time. And we have to remember to for gratitude, how else can we show gratitude? We can show gratitude by writing thank you notes and letting people, showing appreciation to people for what they've done for you, whatever that might be, like the mail carrier or the people who come and take your garbage, or people who deliver your newspapers, or people in grocery stores, like Cindy's wonderful daughter, who always has a smile on her face, by the way. I mean, she's friendly and sweet, and here she puts herself on the line like every day in the grocery store, and with always a smile on her face, greeting people, and her customers love her. So that's the appreciation you want to show people. And also the frontline other workers, right? The healthcare workers, etc.
Mhm.
So that's the way that we can show our appreciation and our and gratitude for each other. What are some other ways? These are the bigger ways. These are the more well-known ways. What are some other areas in which we can show gratitude? Can anybody speak to that? Because there are hundreds of ways we can express our appreciation for different people.
Any friends that have reached out to just check. I had a not a friend, an acquaintance reach out and see if I needed anything just 2 days ago. I'm like, you're checking on me? Wow.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah. So what we did was we have this very dear neighbor who's been our neighbor for years and years. She is in her 80s, and so it was her birthday, and I had promised her that I would love to take her out to lunch, and of course that wasn't going to happen anytime soon because her birthday just passed. So I didn't even have a birthday card for her, but I happened to have an Easter card at home which just said happy Easter, happy day, happy spring, happy everything. So I just wrote her a card, and I wanted to thank her for her friendship, and to thank her for how she's been there for me and my family since my kids were little and even before they were born, and she has never forgotten their birthdays. And I mean, this woman is such a fantastic lady, she and her husband. So I was able to reach out and write her a card, which it wasn't a birthday card, but I turned it into one. And I happened to have a candy bar at home, so I put that in her mailbox, and I just said, I love you so much, and thank you so much for your friendship. Something that we don't usually tend to say. I mean, it sort of is what's the word? You take, not that you take it for granted, but you feel it, but we don't express it, right? A lot of the times. But I don't think I've ever said that to her face, although I've always felt it for all these years. I've never really come right out and said, thank you for being there for us. Thank you for your friendship. I mean, those, I don't think I've said it, though I have said other things to her. So this time, it just came up, and I've been saying a lot of those things. So just as an example, so you can do that, show your gratitude in small little ways to people, and speak your feelings. Say it, I love you. Like, even if that's not something you usually say, tell your kids you love them. Tell your spouse you love them. Tell your neighbors. Tell your cousins. Tell your friends. This is the time to really speak up. That's just my take on it, to be able to say that. So I think some more people have been writing in. So
yeah, they have been.
Oh, Linda says grocery shopping for my mom. Oh, that's beautiful.
And she's grateful that she's able to do so.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, Linda. That's awesome. Very nice. And
Mary said, tell the people you live with how grateful you are for the little things that they do for you.
absolutely.
I've been trying to do that more and more, Mary.
Yeah.
More and
Yeah. Me too. Right, Colin? I've been thanking my husband, who's just absolutely wonderful. But he just does so much for us and for the family, and so I thank him, and I thank you right here. He's showing me a heart sign back.
more.
So, um, yeah. So there's so many little things that we can do, and nothing is little in this day. And so, and even being grateful for these opportunities. See, even the fact that we're having this conversation, how many times do we have conversations like this with sharing about how to show your gratitude to people? We don't. So the coronavirus has shown us how to connect with each other, how to show more love towards each other, how to show more kindness and compassion towards each other, and those are all forms of gratitude that can be expressed. Oh, Dora says, the other day, my neighbor anonymously received tulips. I thought that was so sweet, given that she was furloughed. It made me smile. Oh,
That's
that's
great.
beautiful. That is so beautiful.
And Sandy wrote that she reached out to her mother's friends to see if they needed anything.
There you go. There you go. Great compassion and great love that you're all showing. And it's so needed. And every little gesture is means a lot to people these days. Whatever that little gesture is, in whatever way you show it. Oh, Sandy says she was at the verge of tears, and I felt good that it made a difference. Yeah, awesome, Sandy. That sounds really so wonderful. And I think
Dora wrote that she's also been mindful of walking herself each morning through 5 things that I'm grateful for without repeating myself. That's hard.
Yeah, excellent, Dora. Excellent. And I'll tell you, from a brain perspective and neuroscience perspective, the brain likes novelty. Always remember that. So if you say, I'm grateful for the same thing, like I'm grateful for a roof on my head, I'm grateful for food, I'm grateful for my family. If you keep saying the same thing every single day, it doesn't register it into your long-term memory as something different, because it's like, oh yeah, I know that. I don't have to, focus on it. But if you do what Dora just said she did, which is going through 5 things that she's grateful for without repeating them, like 5 new things every day, that's a fantastic way to keep your mind, to rewire your brain to look for things to be grateful for. So that's what the brain will do, because it becomes almost a game for the brain to say, ooh, I like that. So I'm going to look for 5 different things every single day. So you're almost challenging your brain. And in doing so, your brain will look for 5 new things every single day. And I highly, highly recommend that. So try that with yourself. Initially, it might feel like a chore, and you might feel like, oh, I don't know how many, I can't think of 5 things. But your brain will help you, and it'll get rewired. And all the benefits we just talked about of gratitude. So try that. 5, even if you do 3, doesn't even have to be 5. 3 new things every single day. Try and make a list of that. Oh,
Sandy and Mary are going to follow suit. Way to go.
Yeah, way to go. Way to go. And Dora says it's difficult to do, but writing them down helps. Absolutely. Absolutely. Write them down, 3 to 5 things. 5, if you can do 5, awesome. But if you can do 3, that's awesome too.
Yeah.
Nothing too few. Just do it, because you're really rewiring your brain. So it's not just about doing it for today. The more you do it, your brain will literally take it as a new, sort of a new habit will form. And then you'll start looking for those things. Rather than looking for all the negative things, your brain will start to look for positive things. So, okay. So I have a really very nice gratitude meditation for everybody. I hope you're going to enjoy that. So maybe If anybody else has anything else to share, please share. And we'll still have time after the meditation if you want to share anything else. But I think it's time that we start our meditation. What do you think? What do you think, Cindy?
Sounds great.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for all those wonderful suggestions and things that you guys are doing is just really awesome. So, okay. So this is a gratitude meditation. So to begin it, you want to start with just let the so anyway, sorry, I'm sort of trying to look at something else and losing my train of thought. So I'm going to ring my bell, and you please sit down again in a very comfortable place. If you want to lie down, you may. It might even help you to just be in that really nice space. If you want to sit up, that's okay, but keep your eyes closed. I always like to meditate with my eyes closed because it just puts me into a different space. That way I'm not distracted by light and sound and people and around me. So closing your eyes helps you to go inwards, and that's what you really want for this, okay? So we're going to start with my bell, and then we'll start. So just take one deep breath, please. And exhale. And you can let appreciation and gratitude arise and fill your body and your mind as you inhale and exhale in just a regular rhythm. Just experience that gratitude filling every part of your cells, every part of your body, and going into every cell in your body. And now I'd like you to think of someone you don't know well, but who has supported your experience today in some way. It could be a bus driver. It could be the person who stacked the fruit in the grocery store. It could be the grocery store cashier. It could be somebody like the delivery person who delivers your groceries, or the newspaper delivery person, or the mailman. Allow yourself to feel how you've benefited from the gift of this person's work. And just focus on this person or persons. And allow yourself to feel the appreciation and gratitude for all the services that this person or persons have provided for you. Just imagine all that they've been doing for you, even during this coronavirus. Now, think about the tools that you use that support your work and your life. Think about your computer, your books, your equipment, and just say a silent thank you for all that these things are making your life easier. Your computer works nonstop and helps you in so many ways. Your books provide knowledge. Your equipment helps you to do your work much more easily. Choose one thing and consider all that was needed for its creation. Think of all the people that has worked really, really hard to produce that item for you. Appreciate and feel gratitude that you have access to all these tools. Now, feel gratitude for the people that you work and live with. Think of a particular person whose work or effort directly supports your work in life. It could be a coworker, it could be your boss, it could be somebody else that you work with. Appreciate their contribution, their good intention. Saying in your mind to them, thank you. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for helping me. Now bring to mind someone that you love and care about. Picture them in your mind. Perhaps it's your son. Perhaps it's your daughter. Perhaps it's your husband or wife. Perhaps it's your sister. Perhaps it's your brother. Perhaps it's your cousin. Perhaps it's a grandparent. Perhaps it's an aunt or an uncle. Perhaps it's a neighbor. So just bring to mind someone that you love and care about. Think about what this person means to you, what you appreciate about them, who they are, what you have and experience together, the experience that they've had in your life. Just visualize this person and send them a great big thank you, and send out lots of loving energy towards this person or persons. And as you imagine them, notice what feelings you are experiencing, what sensations you detect in your body, especially those in the area of your heart. What are these sensations and feelings? Perhaps it's a sense of love. Perhaps it's a sense of just romantic excitement. Perhaps it's a sense of gratitude. Perhaps it's a sense of appreciation. Whatever the feelings are, notice them, pay attention to them. Let yourself express gratitude towards them, thanking them for being who they are and for their presence in your life. And imagine them receiving your gratitude with open arms. Visualize the smile on their face and just the look of such appreciation and gratitude on their faces when you thank them and appreciate them. Now bring to mind something in particular that you are grateful for today. Feel the appreciation and gratitude for its presence in your life. As you bring these things to mind for what you're grateful for, allow yourself to rest in this experience. Feel that sense of gratitude washing all over you as you bring to mind whatever it is that you're grateful for today, right now. When you cultivate the practice of gratitude, you may even find yourself able to be grateful for difficult or unpleasant experiences. If you'd like to bring to mind an experience in your life that is challenging, one for which you'd like to be able to express gratitude, offer your gratitude and appreciation to this experience, because there's always a silver lining to every cloud. Thank this challenge for what it may offer to you, because it's out of a challenge that we grow and we find our own gifts within us. Challenges make us, push us to look deep within ourselves and find that maybe courage or strength to cope. And that itself is a gift in itself. So thank this challenge for whatever gift it has unearthed deep within yourself. Gratitude for our body, gratitude for our mind, gratitude for the simple fact of being alive at this moment. Finally, appreciate the opportunity to pause and experience this very practice of gratitude in itself. for all that you have brought to mind during this meditation, for all the countless gifts in your life. Say, I thank you. To all the people, to all that is around you and part of you, for all that you have experienced in your life. For all of this, thank you. Allow the sense of gratitude to fill you up completely as you breathe in deeply and you exhale deeply. Settling on the breath right here, right now, fully alive and present at this very moment. So let's finish up with a full, deep breath in. Just take a deep breath in, please. And exhale slowly and gently. And now slowly open your eyes and return your awareness to this call right here.
That was very nice.
Yeah, thank you. I sort of went into a meditative space myself, so I could feel that, when gratitude washes over us, I think it's just a wonderful feeling of keeping us grounded and centered and feeling good.
Yeah, it allowed me to focus on a single person and a single task, which allowed me to focus on my gratitude for that one small thing a lot clearer.
Yeah, yeah. So please, people, please write in and Sandy says thank you, very peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Sandy, for your feedback. And I really invite other people to write in their feedback and let us know what you thought of the meditation for gratitude. And this is something, we can do. And it will really ground you as well if you do it like before bedtime. Just put yourself in a really comfortable place and cultivate the habit of thinking something that you're grateful for either every night when you go to bed or even when you wake up in the morning. I like to do it at night, but I know some people like to do it in the morning. And feel free to write it down in a journal. What are you grateful for? And also, of course, we already went over that, expressing your appreciation to people in your life, starting with whoever you're living with, your family that you're living with, your spouse, your kids maybe, or, starting right within the family and then expanding it out, I think would really be so beneficial. Just saying.
And these stay up on your Facebook page, so they can re-listen to this as many times as they want.
Yeah.
Re-listen to it every night if they'd like to.
That's a great idea. Absolutely. Yeah, because we're going to leave this up on the Facebook page, and you can also find it on on our website, which is www.empoweredmind.com. So you can find the recordings there as well. And
they're in the blog section. They're in the blog section.
They're in the blog section.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think, did we create a YouTube channel? Okay.
Yeah, the YouTube, and it'll be posted there in a day or two.
So it's going to be posted in a day or two. All these recordings will be on my YouTube channel. So it'll be Empowered Mind YouTube channel. So it'll be under that as well. So we're putting it in many different places. It's on my other page, which is Embracing Life. It's going to be in Seeking Happiness. And so please, those of you who have not joined Seeking Happiness, that's my free Facebook group. I really invite you all to please do that. So Oh, Barbara writes, there are so many wonderful people in our lives. We could pick one each day to focus on like we just did. Wonderful
Definitely.
meditation. Yeah, great idea, right? And you're so right, Barbara. There are so many people that we can focus on. You don't have to focus on everybody all at once. You want to give them that attention and just focus on one person. The meditation doesn't have to be even as long as mine was, because I covered a lot. You can just pick that one person and, do some deep breathing, like maybe 5 to 10 breaths. And every time you breathe out, send them that appreciative energy, send them out a thank you, send them out love, and what you're feeling about them, and think about everything this person means to you. So Barbara, thank you for that. Pick one person. I think that's really good. And Sandy says thank you, very peaceful. Mary says very helpful.
Same with Linda. She also said very helpful.
Yeah. So I'm so glad that people liked the meditation. So I was hoping that you would, but please follow through with it. And if you can all write in, you can do that right now, or even later on in the post. Let me know what your takeaway was for today. I think it's really important to know. I mean, we covered so many different aspects, but I want you to be able to take away one nugget from what you got out of this session that you can hold on to, and so that you can use it to give yourself some solace. Remember, we talked about solace in times of despair. So what is the one nugget that you got from today that will help you think, to just feel a little bit better or a little bit less anxious? So could you please write that in our, in our chat box right now, if you can. We still have like 3 or 4 minutes, if you wish.
I love the fact that no matter how dark times are, there's always a bright spot.
Yeah.
There's always a bright spot. There's always hope. There's always somebody doing something good, whether they get the recognition or not. We just have to find it.
Yeah.
And that was my takeaway from tonight.
Yeah, and you're so right. I often say there's always a silver lining to every cloud, however bad the cloud looks and however dark it looks. But we've got to look for it sometimes. And sometimes it's not easy to find it. But if you look for it, there's always a positive nuance that you can dig up and find,
Mm-hmm.
And it's so important to do that, because otherwise we feel so burdened, right, with all the darkness that we are surrounded with. So we have to look for the light. And there's always light. Where there's darkness, there's light. It's that yin and yang. And where there's darkness, there's light. Where there's light, there's darkness. Otherwise, what is light without darkness?
Right.
Philosophically speaking. And what is darkness without light? And what is light without darkness? You can't exist. It's like black and white. You need, black exists because there's white. Otherwise, what is black? We don't know.
Right.
So
Carol wrote, thank you to you. This reminded her to find the positive in every situation and be grateful for that.
Yeah.
Dora wrote,
thank you, Carol.
Resonated with what I was saying. Yay, go me.
Yeah.
There's no amount of darkness that can cover up the light that shines through.
Yeah. Thank you, Dora. That's awesome. Awesome. So looks like people, have got something. I hope some, people got something out of this. And if you didn't get a chance to write it in here, please go back to the, Dr. Aarti Rao page, which is this page where we just had the live, and, just write some comments, and maybe you'll think of a takeaway later on, and that's okay too. So Sandy says, sorry, I meant to finish. The positive outweighs the negative. Yes, Sandy, you're so right. That's so true. That's so very true. Yep. So
it just is not in the headlines.
Yes. And I just want to add one more thing, which, I didn't say earlier, which I meant to, which is that, you want to appreciate yourself as well. we want to appreciate yourself for something, because maybe you pushed yourself on something. Maybe you did something, that you normally wouldn't have done. Maybe you found that courage within yourself. So acknowledge that even within yourself and thank that part of you, because there are always parts to us, right? There's a part that's pessimistic, but there's also a part that's optimistic, and you want to reinforce that optimism even within yourself. So let's save some of the love for ourselves as well, and that's perfectly okay to do. And you can show that a little bit of gratitude to yourself, and a little bit of love right there. Okay, so give yourselves a big hug, everybody, and you're all awesome. You're great, and again, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to give back a little bit and be on this call with all of you wonderful people. And Linda says, I like the fact that we can go back to the session when we feel overwhelmed and anxious. Yeah. Absolutely, Linda. That's the whole purpose of why we're trying to do these sessions. We've done 5 so far, so you have a lot to choose from, and you can always go back and listen to the meditations, because I've tried to give you a meditation every week, a different one. But there are 5 different ones on recorded. So yes.
Mary says to learn to choose joy.
Yes. Ooh, right, I love the way you put that. That was very pithy, Mary. Thank you. Learn to choose joy. Awesome. Really awesome. Okay, I think we are done for tonight, and I really want to thank you all again, and stay safe, stay healthy, stay well, and my wishes and a lot of love to all of you and to your families. I wish the very best for everybody, and I look forward to seeing you all on the call. And thank you, Cindy, for being on the call. Thank you, Colin, for getting this off the ground and running. And I will see you all next week. Take care, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.